Take two. How's everybody today? So, it was Sunday morning and the alarm clock went off, as it usually does. And William Jr. did what William Jr. tended to do every Sunday morning. And just as he rolled over to hit the snooze bar, his mother, knowing her son all too well, was already at the doorway. "Young man, get up. It's time for you to get ready for church." "Mom, I'm not going to church today." "What do you mean you're not going to church?" "I'm not going to church today, and I have 3 reasons why I'm not going." "Fine, what are the 3 reasons this week?" 1, the choir won't let me sing with them. 2, the children at church don't like me. 3, there are never any jelly donuts left after service. His mother, clearly a Zen master, takes a nice deep breath. "Young man, mister, I have 3 reasons why I'm not going. I have 2 reasons why you are. 1, you're 40 years old. 2, you're the pastor." How often do we, on any given day, know that we are called to do something that is ours to do, and we don't want to do it? We would rather roll over and hit the snooze bar. But knowing that life doesn't go on pause when you hit the snooze bar. Recently I had a conversation with several people who were talking about their children, who were saying things like, "I can't wait till I get older. I can't wait till I'm 21 so I can drive. I can't wait till I'm 30 so I can do whatever it is 30-year-olds do." And then it's funny because then when you get to be 21, you want to be a little bit older so that you can do whatever it is you do. And then you want to be a little bit older so you can retire. And then you get to that place of being retired and it's, wait a minute, can we get a redo? Wait a minute, because we always put off till tomorrow what can be done today. Now, this thing called spiritual integrity is a very mysterious thing. And the reason it's mysterious is because, let's start with chocolate. Any chocolate fans in here? Chocoholics? Okay. If I were to ask you, anyone in here who is not a chocolate fan? Okay. But you've had chocolate once or twice in your life, right? Okay. So for the sake of conversation, we'll say that you've never had chocolate before. Those of you who have an intimate relationship with chocolate, if I were to ask you to describe what chocolate tastes like to him, what would you say? And no matter what you say, will it put the taste of it into his mouth? This thing we call spirituality is very, very similar because as each and every one of us has a different thumbprint, our spiritual experience is going to be different for each and every one of us. So we can say that there's this thing called spirit, but how each of us connects with that, how each of us embodies that is going to be very different. So this thing called spiritual integrity is going to be a different experience for each of us. Something as simple as H2O. You know what H2O is, right? For the sake of conversation, let's say that spirit is H2O. Spirit is this chemical formula for water. Water shows up in different forms, correct? Water can show up as a liquid, a solid, or a gas. But it's still H2O. And even under that category of solid, rain, liquid, snow. Let's go with snow. How much snow is outside right now? Too much. No comment. We are told that each and every snowflake is different and individual. how many snowflakes did it take to fill this property? If each and every one of them is individual and different and unique, and yet is still H2O, it's still spirit. So even though each and every one of us is an individual snowflake, our essence, our truth, is still spirit. But this snowflake and this snowflake, though from the same source, experience life, existence in a different way. So, spiritual integrity. Let's take the word spiritual off for a moment. Integrity. What does it mean to have integrity? Now, if I were to ask each of you individually, you would probably give me different words for what it means to you. And that's what I mean in terms of our experience of it, how we embody it is going to be different. Love. Everyone in here knows what love is, correct? You have some form, concept of what love is. But do we express, feel love in the exact same way as everyone else? Probably not. But we don't know, because how I love you is my experience of it. So integrity is going to be different for me than for you in terms of the experience of it. Just like when I eat chocolate and you eat chocolate, the experience of it, though sublime, is going to be different for each of us. So integrity. Feel free, being a teacher, I like to do this every now and then. Feel free to throw out a couple of words of what integrity means to you. When you think integrity, what does it mean? Doing the right thing.
Honor.
Honor.
Being in line, having your thoughts in line with your actions.
Thoughts in line with your actions.
Being true to your values.
Being true to your values. One more. Or not.
Honesty.
Honesty. Thank you for your honesty. Now, do those connect in any way, shape, or form? Though they were different phrases, different words, different key concepts, do you see any through lines through them? Maybe, maybe not. However, your experience of it is the only thing that matters. So for one person to say integrity is honesty doesn't change or diminish or alter another person's understanding or experience of it in terms of being truthful, having honor, having respect, living in alignment with thought, word, and deed so that everything is congruent. It's still the same thing. Now, if we go back to the origin, the original place the word came from, it comes from integer. Any math folks in here? So you give a look to the young lady to your left. You math person? Yes. So integer. Generally, integer is seen as a whole number. Whole. So when we think integral, complete, whole. Integrity is the sense of being whole and complete, untouched, unchanged, uninterferable, unbroken. You know, when we think about, if you watch a movie about a submarine and they say the hull, the integrity of the hull has been breached. The hull has been broken. It is no longer whole, perfect, and complete. Now, spiritual integrity. We say that we believe the things that come from this book, right? So when we say things like, God is a circle whose circumference is nowhere and whose center is everywhere. There is nothing that God is not. There is nowhere that God is not. God is all there is. The candles, the screen, the microphone, all goes back to the essence of spirit. Because without that, there would be nothing else. So all that exists, though it looks different, smells different, tastes different, is still spirit. And yet there are times when we forget that. There are times when we slip into that place of, yeah, but remember what you did to me last weekend? Well, I'm still upset about that. And remember, you wouldn't let me sing with y'all last Saturday? I'm still upset about that. And we forget that there's only oneness. But when we stand in the place of integrity with self and spiritual integrity, because if God is all there is, then spiritual integrity technically is all there is. Spiritual integrity would be the blueprint that creates this house that we call our life experience. So when we say, I stand at a place of spiritual integrity, I know that I'm whole, perfect, and complete, even though my left knee is bothering me, even though I'm having this experience in my shoulder that the doctors call arthritis. I don't have it, I experience it, because I know that according to spiritual integrity, according to what the universe says, according to what Uncle Ernest wrote in this book, this cannot have or possess, because spirit cannot have or possess discord, disharmony, dis-ease. I can experience it, but as easily as I can experience it, I can shift and experience. That which I claim ownership of, I've now fallen out of integrity. I'm no longer in alignment with thought, word, and deed, because I'm no longer thinking, speaking, and feeling what I know to be truth. I'm following what I believe to be illusion. I believe that Doug Henning, David Copperfield, somebody, actually made the Statue of Liberty disappear. It wasn't an illusion. It really happened. I buy into that. But I know the truth. If I were to ask you, are you a master? And I'm not going to tell you what that means. I'm going to just leave it. Are you a master? And you don't have to answer this out loud. Think to yourself. Would you say that you are a master? Now, there are many different types of masters or mastery. There are martial arts masters, and there are artistic, Michelangelo and Da Vinci, and spiritual masters, and the Dalai Lama, and there are all types of masters. Are you one? Not necessarily one of them, but are you a master? I encourage you, if you are thinking no, to change that answer to yes. The reason being, it is said that it takes approximately 10,000 hours to attain proficiency in something. Want to be proficient with violin? 10,000 hours. Proficient with the guitar? 10,000 hours. Painting? 10,000 hours. And I mean skilled proficiency. Julia Child's kind of, a couple people in here don't know who that is, but Julia Child's proficiency. Gordon Ramsay proficiency. That kind of stuff. 10,000 hours. The majority of us in this room have already crossed that 10,000 hour threshold. There are a couple of people in here who haven't. But the rest of us who have reached mastery at something. And everyone in this room is reaching mastery in something, consciously or unconsciously. Because if you're not doing it on purpose, it's happening by default. You are the master of your own life. And if our lives are not demonstrating what we desire and what is said that it can be, then it's time for us to shift that and become consciously conscious of what we seek to demonstrate, not just what we desire, but what we deserve. And that's a lot of people, because we feel unworthy of love. And I mean ultimate love. I mean agape love. I mean love without condition. Love just because you are here. Not because of how good you are or how great you are at your job. Just because Spirit chose to show up as you makes you worthy. So you deserve whatever it is you want. Want to be happy? You deserve to be. Want to be wealthy? You deserve to be. Want to be healthy? Body, mind, and spirit? You deserve to be. Anything that's standing in your way of that is the illusion, and it's time to let it go and cast it aside. Now, there's an old Japanese story about this guy, and he's walking along the road, and he happens to look down and sees some swordsmen fighting and some ninja fighting, and he gets scared, and he sees one samurai, and all of the enemies fall. And the samurai turns and sees him and approaches him. And the man falls to his knees and starts begging, "Please, please, samurai, please do not kill me. Please do not harm me. Please do not hurt me. Forgive me." And the samurai says, "Because you are so disgraceful, tomorrow morning at sunrise we will duel, and I will do away with you." And the samurai resheaths his sword and walks away. And the old man gets up and he walks away, and for the rest of the day, he's in his mind about, oh my goodness, I have approximately 27 hours, oh my goodness, what am I going to do? So he goes to bed that night and makes his camp and his fire, and he makes some tea and stuff and goes to sleep. And somewhere in the middle of the night, an elbow hits him in the nose. And he wakes up and he looks and he sees a man laying on the cot beside him. And he jumps up and he takes a stick and he pokes him. He pokes him again. And the man wakes up and jumps up and draws his sword. And the old man falls again and says, "Please forgive me. I am sorry. I did not mean any offense." And the man says, Oh no, forgive me. Apparently last night I had too much sake because I was walking down the road and I saw your fire and smelled the delicious food. And I came over here and took some and must have fallen asleep. Forgive me." And he puts his sword back in. And the old man says, Whoa, time out. Are you a sword master? And he says, "Oh, yes, I am." Okay, listen. The samurai said that he would challenge me to this duel, and I've got a couple of hours left. Please teach me how to sword fight, please. And the samurai says, "No." And the old man reaches over and he takes this sword that's wrapped up in a blanket, and he takes it out, and it's got gold thread and ivory, and the sword master says, "Whoa, wait a minute. That's the imperial sword. Where did you get that from?" And the old man says, the emperor gave it to me as a gift." And the swordman says, "What could you possibly do for the emperor that he would give you his imperial sword?" And the old man says, "Oh, I make tea for him." And he says, "Ah, you're the tea master." And he says, "Yes." And he says, "Fine, I will teach you the way of the sword, but first you must make me tea." So he says, "Okay." He gets out his tools and he sits down and he breathes. And the swordman watches. And he takes the tea out and takes the bowl and places it and whisks, and he breathes. And he hands it to him and he drinks. Truly you are the tea master, because this is delicious. So you will teach me the way of the sword now? Nope. Wait a minute, I thought we had a deal. I thought that you were going to teach me this. What I want you to do is, when you stand before the samurai, make him tea. And the sword master walks away. It's that time. Tea master goes, and he's at the road, and he walks up, and he sees the samurai approach. And he kneels. And he takes the imperial sword and places it before him. And he breathes. And the samurai approaches and he draws his sword. And the tea master raises and unsheaths the sword. And he breathes. And the samurai approaches. And the tea master draws this blade completely out and raises it up. And looks directly into the samurai's eyes. And he breathes. And the samurai who was approaching paused and backed up. "Please forgive me. I did not realize who I was standing before. And the samurai resheaths his sword and walks away. Why? He did not need to be a master of the sword to be respected by a master of the sword. Whatever area we choose in our lives to put mastery in, singing, dancing, cooking, gardening, that is an expression of our mastery. But you are already a master. Period. Whole, perfect, and complete, right here, right now, where you are. Spiritual integrity is saying that I will think what I know to be true. Love is all there is. Anything that is contrary to that is an illusion. Yes, there is this thing called a fact that there is a group of people called ISIS doing horrendous things around the planet. Yes, there is a fact that there are gay and lesbian teens who are kicked out of their homes and they go to New York and they are on the streets. Yes, this is a fact. Yes, it is a fact that there are things happening in places that we couldn't even imagine. This is a fact. But it is not the truth. Because if we say that there is only God and God is good and that's all there is, then even when things that are disharmonious show up, is it possible to be outside of God? Is it possible to do something that is not in some way, shape, or form in the mix, the harmony of the divine? On a piano, there are 88 keys? 88 keys. Anybody in here play the piano? Keyboard? 88 keys. How many songs can you create? How many pieces of music can you create with those 88 keys? Infinite. Fact is that this is the limitation of what this keyboard has. That is a fact. But the truth is that within that, within the rules of that, infinity exists. When we shift our consciousness to say, I know, not just I think it, but I know. I have the faith that says, faith is a mustard seed. And a lot of people question, they're like, I don't know if I have enough faith. No, yes you do. Yes you do. Anybody in here fly? Get in a plane? I don't mean like fly, like, I don't mean that kind of fly. I mean airplane, get in an airplane, fly. Okay, thank you. And I know because I love superheroes. I mean, so sometimes when I throw that out there, people are like, what do you mean like fly? You get in an enormous metal tube that defies gravity long enough to get from point A to Taiwan, and you're not driving. Not only are you not driving, but you're comfortable sitting somewhere eating peanuts and drinking ginger ale while the people in the cockpit don't see where they're going. They're trusting what the gadgets say. And they're trusting the people on the ground and their gadgets to guide them. If that's not faith, then what is? So we all have it. And the fact that you are using the mind of God says you have more than enough of it. So when we start to say, thought, I know that I know. I have seen more than enough evidence in my life to know that these truth principles are true. That's what I'm going to speak. I have no reason to speak anything other than that. If I know the truth, why speak a lie? So I'm going to align my thought and my word, and I'm going to speak, because I can speak a thing that is not and make it so. And then when my thoughts and my words are in alignment, perfect congruence, my actions have no choice but to do that as well. And when I am in thought, word, and deed, emotions all together, congruent, in alignment, then everywhere I go, every person I see, every person I speak to, not only am I speaking to God, because I know there's no mistake, I speak as God. I speak with the authority of the divine, because I know if Yeshua can say, no, I didn't do these miracles. I didn't do them of my own. God and I are one. And not only did I do these miracles, but so can you, and even greater. So when we align thought, word, and deed, and go in our life experience, we manifest, we demonstrate. Because that's truthfully what it means to be in spiritual integrity. I am whole, I am perfect, and I am complete. And I live my life that way. And so it is.